When looking for the king of podcasts, you're at the wrong channel. Looking for good ideas for life? You are far from good hands. If you think the listener is always right, you are far from the right place. Hosted by a Northeasterner by birth, a rebel by choice. If you want a host that floats between love and madness, then play on and listen to Crazy Train Radio.
What up? Excuse me while I whip this out. Oh, gnarly! Say what again? Say what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes. And good evening, friends.
Hi, this is Lisa Wilcox, and I'm talking here on Crazy Train Radio. Yes.
That would be helpful. So
yes.
I don't sound like the typical, you're faint,
Yeah.
Anyway, she is the pride of UCLA from their Bachelor's of Arts program as far as acting's concerned. But yeah, why not? We'll go there. But she's mostly known for Nightmare 4 and 5, and even for you Trekkies, Star Trek on TV. Her name
That's right,
is
Next
Lisa
Generation.
Wilcox. How you doing, Lisa?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Oh, you know, if I was any more excited, I'd be doing cartwheels. So
send me a video.
I'm on that.
Okay,
I'll work on that.
On it. Okay.
Oh, boy. So, obviously, we were going to originally do this at Monster Mania, but I had to take off for some personal reasons. Damn
yes.
kid. But anyway, how did Monster Mania go for you?
It was tremendous. It really was. I hadn't done the show in about 4 years, and my gosh, it's just growing and growing and growing, and it's so nice because so many of the volunteers that help with the show, I've gotten to know over the years because my first Monster Mania I probably did, 8 years ago, I would say, or 9 maybe. So I've gotten to know some of the staff members and their children, so their kids have grown up, and it's so fun because I get to catch up with them, and they're always so incredibly just helpful and sweet, and it's just a great show. I really have enjoyed Dave too for so many years. So, and the panel was a blast. Oh my gosh!
Yes, because and for those who don't know what she's talking about, obviously most of the listeners are convention goers and all, and familiar with panels and all. But Monster Mania did a Nightmare 4 reunion and brought several of you in. You were there. Robert was there. Tuesday was there, and Danny was there, correct?
Yep, and Andras, too, who plays Rick, his brother.
As he calls himself the Black Sheep. I'm only quoting him, but...
Oh, gosh. Andras.
You know how he is. I will just...
Yes. Yes, I've known them all for 28 years.
Which is scary that it's 28 years because you're only 32, so how does that work?
Bless your heart.
Oh, thank you. You sound like you were a Southern girl with a bless your heart.
Oh, I am. I'm originally from Missouri, actually.
Okay.
Columbia, Missouri. Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of, Southern women, especially the older Southern women, a lot older than you, always when we're sitting around having a drink and, poolside and this time of year, they're like, oh, bless your heart, when they're talking about, they're going to be, Most of the time when they hit it, they're going to trash the person most of the time.
There's some books on that, actually. Yeah, there's some books on that. There's an author, I can't think of her name right now, but she goes through all of the Southern language, and it's quite fascinating, actually. Anyway, the interpretation. That would require me reading, so I don't know how much. Oh, okay. Oh, forget that.
Yeah, I never claimed to be that bright, but.
Well, it's interesting too.
Well, after the drop call, you were saying about the Southern girls right when we lost you.
Well, I'm tentatively moving to Nashville, and I saw Robert in April, and then of course I saw him at Monster Mania too, and he's like, so are you going to do it? You're going to move to Nashville? I said, yeah, I'm going to do it. He's like, high five. He's like, because Lisa, you're a Southern girl at heart. You belong with your roots. It was very cute. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Well, since we're going off track here, and you're looking at Nashville, why Nashville of all places are you looking for?
Oh, it's just a fantastic city. It's beautiful. There's seasons. I'm such a tree, green grass, river, lake kind of person. The people are wonderful. It's very much, and a lot of people in Los Angeles are actually moving there. LA has just become such a cement jungle, seriously. And I'm just ready for a change and a little peace and quiet. You can get a beautiful home for pennies on the dollar compared to Los Angeles. And just ready for a little adventure, And there's a lot of work as well in Georgia. Something like 13 shows are filming there now. So, yeah, ready for a little change.
And, speaking of pennies on the dollar, I think it was one of the Brady Bunch, according to the news media today, or on social media. One of the girls in the Brady Bunch sold her house that she bought at 11 out in Malibu, but that was here nor there.
Really? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Apparently at the time when they bought, what 11-year-old is buying a home, but paid like $55,000 and got $3.5 million back, so.
I'd say that's a smart investment. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
indeed.
Anyway, well, the Nashville thing I was going to bring up again, since you said that. It has nothing to do with your son, who happens to be a musician, too. Is that true?
He is a musician. He is, but no. But I'm sure he'll be visiting me, absolutely, and as well he should, and perhaps make some connections and whatnot. Yeah, my son Alex is a musician. He composes his own music, writes his own music, and sings his own music. And he's actually getting radio play. He got radio play here in Los Angeles on 88.5 FM, and he's getting radio play in Spain and also in the UK.
Well, I don't know what style he plays. Excuse me for a sec. Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. But I have a couple of nice contacts in Nashville named singer-songwriters we'll have to hook him up with, but we'll do that off air.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that would be fantastic. Yeah, and he has his grandfather was Robert Sherman of the Sherman Brothers, who did all of the Winnie the Pooh music, Mary Poppins. They wrote It's a Small World, after all, on and on and on. So he definitely has the musical gene in him.
Well, that's a good thing. But obviously, let's go back into talking about you a little bit, not to work on your ego or anything like that.
Okay.
Most people recognize you, like we said, for Star Trek and Nightmare. When you're at the conventions, is there anything that most fans typically ask you that gets boring, or do you usually see folks that have different and unique questions after doing them for so long, these shows?
Well, I mean, probably the most asked question is, what was it like working with Robert Englund? Which is an excellent question, And but oftentimes they share their stories of, Nightmare 4 was the first Nightmare movie I ever saw, or it was the first Nightmare movie I ever saw in the theater. And so the questions do vary. You know, they ask about the special effects, and I always have too. Every show, I'm telling you, someone brings something I've never seen before, whether it be a poster or some kind of prop or something they found on eBay or Amazon, and it's always so fun to sign these things too, you know, and I half the time I'm taking pictures of what they bring to my table to sign. It's fun.
Well, do you find yourself collecting things, since you always see unique things like that at shows? Like, do you get a chance to go around and see some of the things the vendors may have?
I always do shopping on Sunday, always, and just to see what's out there. I can't say I have a collect movie memorabilia, but I do love jewelry, and they oh my gosh, these vendors make amazing things. There's a gal that makes these fabulous soaps, like a Frankenstein head or teeth or bats, and I love doing that. There's another vendor, gals, who make these really cute barrettes and neat jewelry, skull jewelry, handbags. So I collect fashionable items. That's what I collect.
And if push comes to shove, you can use those teeth or Frankensteins or whatever for your hygiene needs. But
well, yeah, certainly. And Halloween, that's when you put, you know, decorate the house for Halloween, and all the soaps are, you know, something Halloweenish.
There you go.
So, fun.
But I always found it interesting. I heard this recently. Actually, I believe it was during Monster Mania weekend I heard this.
Okay.
About you with the casting of Nightmare 4. I found it interesting that you had learned of being cast during your honeymoon.
Yes, I did. Yes.
And, of course, there's no cell phones at the time. So can you tell that story? Where were you? And did you call the agent, or did the agent track you down?
It's very interesting because I auditioned for the role of Alice, and then I had one callback, and Brooke Bees, who played Debbie, she was also in the callback waiting room. And so I did my callback on a Friday. I got married that Sunday, big wedding, you know, 150 guests, that kind of thing. And then we went off to Hawaii for our honeymoon. And it was about 4 or 5 days into the honeymoon that my manager called me, because he did know where I was, and told me I had landed the role of Alice. So I did have to leave my honeymoon early because they wanted to do some test photo shooting and that whatnot. But it was totally fine. Although I'll have to say, my now ex-husband wasn't particularly pleased. He's like, but we've paid for this whole hotel, and, you know, we had a 10-day honeymoon. I'm like, well, that's show business. Anyway, there you go.
And I'm getting a paycheck for this job, so it's not like I'm leaving early just because.
Yes, a paycheck, and the Writers Guild strike was happening, and he is a writer. So, yeah, we kind of needed it was good that I was going to be working for, 2.5 months.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Now,
yeah.
I also had heard that you found that the makeup in Nightmare 4, when you did the older version of you working in a diner, was a lot harder than when you did the Freddy makeup in 5.
Well, they tried with the old age Alice makeup 3 different. They tried one way, it's kind of sprayed your skin and this and that, but the results just weren't making me look old enough. There was even at one point having my mother, because I look a lot like my mom, to play old Alice. But then they decided she didn't look old enough either. So then they tried another way of makeup. I don't remember what the second was, but I do know it was finally the third one, which was definitely more of a prosthetic that they had to put on my face to achieve the results that you see today.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, yeah, of course your mom wouldn't have looked old enough because, as we discussed few minutes ago, you were only 4 when you made the movie.
Oh, again, bless your heart.
Oh, oh, man. Oh, I'm going off track, having too much fun with this, but hey, that's the name of the game,
yeah, right on.
Yeah, right on. With 5, though, I noticed, and I compared to 4 when you watched the whole series, there was a lot more social commentary with 5. Do you think, looking back now in hindsight, that it was a little too risky to play that social commentary and touch those topics when they did in 89, 90 compared to 2016?
I think that would be an excellent evaluation. They were very touchy subject matters for that time period. Absolutely. They also had to edit quite a bit of some of the graphics out as well because it was getting an X rating. So it did have some challenges, no question, for the time because, yes, we're talking about teen pregnancy in 1989. We're talking about abortion. We're talking about, really touchy stuff. So it was quite bold. It was bold. It was gritty to do in '89. So therefore, perhaps not as well received as Nightmare 4. 4 was definitely a lighter film. The music and everything was, totally happening. And come on, you have Freddy on the beach wearing sunglasses, okay? Most horror films are dark. You don't have a lot of lighting in horror films. So Nightmare 4 was definitely a lighter, we'll call it the MTV version of the Nightmare movies. And it was a date movie. It was a safe date movie. Nightmare 5? No, not so much. Yeah.
No.
But I still love both films, though, independently.
Yeah, they're like your own kids. You like them for different reasons, but you like them overall. Yes. You can't. It's hard to choose. It would be hard for me to choose.
4 probably because the character arc that Alice goes through from, the Wallflower Daydreamer to kicking butt. That was great as an actor. Those are the kind of roles you just love to play because of that character arc.
Well, did you find yourself have any close of your own personal attributes tied to Alice?
Oh, my goodness, yes. Grade school, Lisa Wilcox grade school. Okay, I read books constantly. I'll read, in the summertime, I would read 2 books a day. I love to disappear into the fantasy of novels, Nancy Drew, ghost stories, Dracula. I was a very avid reader and very timid, kept to myself, was shy. I literally, there was this really cute neighbor next door, Alan Edick. Hello, Alan, if you're listening to this. Super cute, and he would be outside, kicking the soccer ball around, and I would, my bedroom was upstairs, and I would literally gaze out the window, looking at Alan, kicking around the ball, going, I wish he would notice me. I so wish he would notice me. So that scene in the diner when Dan comes in with the cheerleader, and I have this huge crush on him. That moment is so real to me. That longing, for the cute boy that you just feel like he'll never ever look at you or have anything to do with you, So yeah, I was definitely a daydreamer to myself. So definitely a lot like Alice, for sure.
Well, obviously, we've hinted at it a little bit. Well, not so much hinted at it, but obviously you're a mom now and took actually a 8-year absence, if I read that correctly, from acting in your professional career, I guess, to have your kids and be a stay-at-home mom and all. And But in recent time, I've known you've done more. You're back into acting full-time now. Am I safe to say that?
Yes, I am, as of this year. Yep.
Is that would you say, how do I put this? A blessing, because you know how hard it is to jump in and have any kind of success like you've had, but to take a break and then come back into it, where a lot of people may not get a second coming.
Well, you know, call me loco. That's totally fine. But I just have been, I feel really fortunate because so many of the folks that watch the Nightmare on Elm Street series have become, in their own right, well-known writers and directors and producers. And interesting enough, towards the end of last year, I was getting offers, out of the blue. And I've had an agent the whole time. It's just that she couldn't submit me on anything for auditioning, you know, but she would handle anything that would come in. So like 3 projects came in at the end of last year, and then I went, you know what? And I did corporate world for 5 years as well. So I decided, you know what? This corporate thing isn't really working for me, and I'm just gonna jump back into acting career. It's kind of like it was beckoning me, you know. And I have now 5 projects on paper. So that'll be filming this year and on into next year. So I feel, knocking on wood, you know, I feel so grateful that you know, I'm getting to have a second coming, you know. And now I'm at a different age, so the roles are like doctors and lawyers and news, you know, just, you know, adult women. So I'm really grateful. I'm really mature women, you know. So I feel really grateful.
Yeah, because sometimes it's not like you were a child, you know, where you see a child actor who struggles, you know, when they hit, you know, of adult age, and you know, because you remember from those roles, but you know, you just don't see too many, you know, who are that fortunate to be able to still get offers and everything else.
Yeah, and now audition.
Yeah. Well, if you do auditions, do you notice people judge you based on your resume? Because you have a pretty unique resume. Like I said, Star Trek, Nightmare, Bill and Ted's, and even that Cutie MacGyver.
Yeah, it ranges. I have a lot. My theater, and sitcoms, episodic, soap operas, TV movies, films. Yeah, I mean it's pretty varied, which I think is works in my favor, you know. And I'm recognized just for one particular role that I've done, which is good too. I mean, I would say every role I've played, I have a different look. There's a different look. So I think that's good, you know, as far as casting, castability.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, you're fortunate that you weren't typecast where others have been. So.
No.
But have you ever had an issue where people, whether it's an audition or whatever, try to typecast you? Oh, you're only this because you did X, Y, Z?
Well, I don't think so. I don't. I think that I've been given an opportunity to play a whole variety of different types of film work, and you know, all coming up.
Well, I just hinted at it there again. I'm using that word hinted too much lately. That for those who are old enough to know or remember the show, which I think they're working on a movie or something, MacGyver. It was such a heartthrob in the 80s there. Yeah. Did you have any crush or anything like, oh my God, when you were doing that role on the show?
I was totally fine with him, working with him. My husband actually flew up with me because he didn't trust the actor, so he wanted to be on set to like protect me. But I didn't have any particular who I had a huge crush on. I did a movie called Watchers 4 based on a fantastic book. If you are any of you out there enjoy Dean Koontz, please.
Oh, boy.
The brilliant makeup artist for me to read a book called Watchers. It's called Watchers. That's what the original book is. And I was reading the book on set, in between filming and whatnot. And then years later, they cast Score, which is the one closest related to the original book, Watchers. I'll never forget getting that role, and Mark Hamill, was the lead. We were kind of co-leads together. And the first insult we had was nervous wreck. I am telling you, oh my God, it's Luke Skywalker, for heaven's sake. Are you kidding me? I'm a huge Star Wars fan. So that one definitely. And then George Clooney. I worked with George Clooney on an episodic, and he was absolutely adorable. So those two stand out in my mind.
That is for sure. But is there anybody that you're looking forward to trying to work with, or do you have a bucket list of guys or gals that you want to work with?
Well, yeah, maybe it sounds cliche, but Meryl Streep, I've admired her work forever, as well as many, many, many of us. One of my top favorite films ever is Sophie's Choice. Just a brilliant film, brilliant performance. French Lieutenant Woman, fantastic. Kramer versus Kramer. She's such a chameleon. Sandra Bullock, love to work with her. She seems like a kick in the pants. Would be totally fun. Male actors, sure. I'd love to work with George again. That would be a hoot. Jason Bateman. He was a doll. Great to work with on Valerie's Family. Would love to work with him. Just seeing him mature as an actor. He's quite good. So it's a little list. I should probably write it all down and put it in my wish box or something. Huh? That's what I'm going to do after this interview.
Yeah, there you go. And I know I'll get kicked at or get yelled at through social media if I don't ask about Fear Clinic. But working. Yeah, that was what 2009, 2010ish originally.
Yeah.
Fear.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We did six episodes, I believe. 6. Yeah.
Something like that. And last I had heard, there was some sort of crowdfunding trying to get something going for, I believe, a movie. But how was that working with Robert outside the makeup? But you also had cameos with guys like Kane Hodder and different people from the horror genre coming in to do Fear Clinic.
Yeah, that was so fantastic. To work with Robert without the makeup and a completely different character. I'm like his head nurse, and we were kind of creating a backstory. Like we had a relationship at one time, and so it was so fun to work with Robert in a whole different, scenario. Other than just Freddie and Alice.
Yeah.
So it was a thrill, and he's a consummate actor, and I think we have mutual respect for each other. So it was so fun. I mean, Kane Hodder. That's actually I worked with Kane now actually 3 times. He was also in Watchers 4. He's the guy at the convenience store that we're collecting our groceries because we're going up to a cabin to stow away, and that, and then Fear Clinic, and then we did something called Nightmares last year together. So Kane is just, I'm a big fan of Kane as well. And then I got to work with Danielle Harris too. On Fear Clinic, so it was exciting. Oh, big sweetheart, and we had a great time. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it did become a movie.
And
it did.
Yeah. Because I remember the crowdfunding and everything that was going into that. Because that was the first time we were fortunate enough to talk to Robert, and great guy. And it was funny because it was right around the time of Monster Mania that we did that interview with him. But in Baltimore. But and you know this from knowing the guy for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
The man is such a storyteller. Like if you get a chance to sit down and have a couple of drinks with him and dinner and just just a relaxed setting.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, and obviously you probably heard some of the same stories over and over again over time. But it's just so fascinating to sit and listen to that man's stories. And let him run.
Yes. He's quite a raconteur, no question about it. I don't know if you read his book, but he does have some wonderful stories, and at the time that he was blossoming as an actor and all of the other, quote, unknowns that became very known, what an exciting time that he got to explore and experience as a young actor, and then to land, the role of Freddy Krueger, But he's such a articulate guy. He has a memory like a computer. I'm telling you, I don't know how he remembers all the things he does. So sharp. So sharp. And a great storyteller, very engaging.
Yes, and I always, my personal background as well, besides communications and all that, was a minor, in case I wanted to teach, a minor in history. And yes, we were talking over dinner one time when we were in the same area. I was fortunate enough, because not only am I a fan of his, but, we were sitting and discussing history and just get his, with the Roman Empire, and just the other person, not that I've ever met them, was Toby. Toby, who did Texas Chainsaw. I can't think of his last name, brain fart. But with the history background and just hearing about the Romans and Greek mythology, and Robert just went on, and it was like, is this the same guy that took the fuck out of me in my dreams as a little kid?
He's so very well read. He's seen every film you can possibly imagine. Every time I see him, I said, "Okay, Robert, what have you seen?"
What do you recommend?
And I have this list. There's one called The Green Room, one called Tabitha that he mentioned when I saw him in Matt Monster Mania, because we rode over from the airport to the hotel, and of course, we see each other all weekend. But so he's my go-to for what's cool, what's neat, what am I missing? Because he'll know it.
I need to say.
Yeah.
And, it's funny because I was aware of the trip over from the airport due to your good old boyfriend from 4 and 5, Danny, was marking out a little bit on Facebook, which was hilarious. Oh, my God, I was on the plane with, and Robert and Lisa and Lee Majors, and, it was just hilarious.
It was. That's too cute. It was very cute.
Yeah, it was like he was a 6-year-old kid. It was great.
He is. He was a 6-year-old back then, and he still is.
He's 8 now, so.
Yeah, okay, fine. I'll give you 8. Maybe not.
Yeah. Oh, man.
It was cute because we actually ended up sitting in the same row on the way back to Los Angeles, which, that's not planned. So.
Who, you and Dan? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's cute.
So,
and he's in,
Go ahead. No, sorry.
No.
I believe he's from Seattle area, last I heard. Oh, for real. But
but he just recently moved.
But you were saying that you believe he moved and all, which Danny seems like a cool dude. We just we're introduced and whatnot. Seems like a great dude. If people want to see what Lisa Wilcox has got going on now, what's the best way they can follow you on social media?
Oh, yes. Well, there's Facebook, of course. There's Lisa Wilcox, my friend page thing, and then there's Lisa E. Wilcox, which is more of the actor thing you can follow.
So, you mentioned that Lisa E. Wilcox, the professional page, and the friends page.
And then I have Twitter.
Yes.
And Instagram. Yeah, Twitter is Lisa Wilcox 1. And Instagram is the Lisa Wilcox.
Which, because I guess somebody stole actual Lisa Wilcox.
Well, my website is www.lisaewilcox.com. There is a LisaWilcox.com website that I have lost. The guy who created it for me years and years ago, I've not been able to reach. So I just had a whole new website made this year, LisaEWilcox.com.
Listen, you rat bastard. I don't know who you are. If you hear this, get a hold of her anyway. Just common professional courtesy, you asshole. And I'm not.
I know. But it was part of getting back into it. I actually did a business plan because there were so many things that I needed to accomplish to get relaunched, and of course, social media is a huge part of that now. Rather than 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it really didn't even exist.
Yeah.
So, but I'm fairly active on it. So yeah, I love to hear from you guys. My website's a great place to go. It lists, my next conventions, projects, and you can even see my professional acting reel on there if you would like to amuse yourself.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. But, it's funny that you mentioned about the social media and all, because I did tape something with another guest at Monster Mania because it was convenient for about 20, 25 minutes, on Friday night. And it was hilarious because she is not of the technological age with social media and all, but she's still fairly young. Because she's only in her, I'm not going to reveal the age. That wouldn't be right of me, but she's not, old.
Okay.
But yeah, it's funny because she goes, "Oh, my daughter is of that tech age because my daughter's only 23, so it's like that's her generation." And it's like, so we had to throw her daughter under the bus. Hook mom up, will you? Come on.
Well, I actually did hire a PR company for a few months just to help me get started and created, and they were awesome because they also know to find anniversaries of the different things I've done on my resume, like the Brady Bunch, Star Trek, whatever, and post things, But I also always check, I'm now much more on top of it, and I've learned it, and embraced it. So.
Well, is that something you got to ask your boys to go? Hey, what's this? What's that?
Oh, I do. Yes, especially when I finally got an iPhone. Oh gosh, about probably 4 or 5 years. 5 years ago, I finally got an iPhone. I was terrified. I was absolutely terrified. But then the boys got iPhones, and I'm like, oh, I have built-in instructors right here with 2 of my kids. So I jumped off it.
This month, show mom how to do this.
Yes. Oh yeah, and they taught me, and oh my gosh, love my iPhone, love my iPad. What did we do without it?
Oh yeah, it's funny. I'm trying to teach my mom. I'm learning. I know enough to get by, but I'm not like I'm not like that guy from the Saturday Night Live. Move, I think it was Jimmy Town or whatever. Move. But it's like now I'm trying to teach my mom.
Good.
Yeah, who's in her, about the same age as the person I was discussing earlier. But,
yeah.
And I don't mean to throw this when it comes to tech with kids. At the time, my godson was 3, 2.5, 3.
Yeah.
And called me on Skype from his mom's computer to check on her boo-boo. And it's like, did mom get you on her computer? No.
Oh, no way.
So, out of screen so he wouldn't see. I'm texting his mother, because I don't know what's on her computer. It's like, you might want to see what your son is doing. You know what I mean? It's like,
wow.
Yeah, he logged onto her computer and logged onto her Skype.
Gosh.
It was cute, to say, hey, how's your boo-boo doing?
3.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sitting there.
Wow.
I'm sitting there texting his mom off the screen going, you might want to see what your son is doing.
Well, it's changed. Even in the acting world, it's changed because everything is done, by a video camera, and it's sent off to the directors and producers. In the old days, you had got your call back, you met with network. There'd be, anywhere from 10 to 15 people in that room, from network to the director, the writer, the casting director, all there, and you do your scene, and oh my God, it was like doing a little, one act, and having an audience, and so when I met with my agent to say, hey, you can, I'm doing it, you can submit me now actually for roles and whatnot, and I said to her, how many 8x10 headshots do you need? Hard copy. And she kind of laughed, and she said, oh, Lisa, I haven't used hard copy 8x10s in 3 years. I'm like, oh, okay. It's all online, where we actors subscribe to like Actors Access, and we post our photos there, and that's how auditions, how you're submitted now. Completely changed.
Well, I'll put it this way then, for a final question. How do you like that with the changes in the business compared to hard copies and going and meeting with the casting and everything you just described there? Do you like doing it where you can not have to leave the house for certain things, or would you rather, which side of the fence are you with that?
Gosh, it's really bittersweet because, quite frankly, there's nothing that can replace a three-dimensional person in that room. You get their vibe, you know. The director sees you full as a, not as a screen, but as a person, and you get a sense of who they are, you know. I do know his name. He does Supernatural. He's a co-executive producer, Jim McBride, I think his name is, and he still does it old school. He still has the actors come into the room, and he wants to see them and meet them and get a sense of them, you know. But for the most part, no, it's all just videotape. The nice part about that now is that I don't have to live in Los Angeles if I don't want to, because we can audition remotely now. We have our iPhone with the video or whatever, and in fact, I was doing a show in, where was I? I was at Dallas, and my agent called and said, well, of course you have an audition, and I know you're out of town. Well, I was at a show. My friend Mel House, who I've done a couple projects with, he's a writer-director, I texted him. I said, I have an audition. Can you film me? And then I had, it was Andras was at the show too, and he was the guy I read lines with, off camera. So it was actually perfect. So, it's come see, come saw, I don't know. But I have to say, I miss the old days when you got to meet in person, flesh and blood.
Because, it's funny. When we were chatting back and forth to confirm the night about an hour or so ago, I was finishing doing some editing for a commercial for a sponsor. And, they're like, hey, we love it. We like what you did. No problem. Thank you. Because we did a video version as well. And, and of course, I sent them a message on Facebook to respond. It was said in like a dirty manner, double George Carlin, double entendre type deal. And he's like, and because you couldn't get the vibe where if I said it the same thing vocally, if we were in the same room or on the phone or anything, it's like, he's like, dude, was that for the wrong person? I was like, no. It was just one of those, think about it. He goes, sarcasm. He's like, I enjoy, the interaction with the actual person where they can get that vibe.
Yeah, get a sense of who they are, what they're like. You can't get that just by seeing them do an acting scene, videotape-wise. And I apologize, it was Ricky Dean. Ricky Dean ran lines. Andras was there too, but Ricky Dean ran lines off camera with me.
Okay.
So,
hi, Ricky.
Hey, Ricky.
Yeah. Andres, you can go back to being a black sheep. Oh wait, never mind. I'll be getting a message about that when this is posted. So.
Okay, great. Yeah.
And all kinds of.
You hear my dog.
We're having too much fun. This ain't right. But we know you have another interview to go to. Follow her on social media and her website and all that other fun stuff. Lisa Wilcox, thank you so much.
Thank you. Everyone have a great day, great evening.
Here, a.k.a. Robert England, and you're listening to Crazy Train Radio. Don't take a nap.